I'm Max van Praag. This is Private Matters. On Private Matters, we explore thriving in intimacy. We're speaking with experts from all over the world who know about any aspect of intimate relationships. And today I'm speaking with Marion van der Stad in Holland, my home country. So I'm in San Rafael, California, and Marion is in Utrecht in her office. And we're going to have a conversation in English, but maybe also in Dutch, because that's our mother tongue. Marion is an expert in intimacy. She has a coaching business, intimacy coaching business, and she works primarily with adults between 30 and 60 years old who have never had sex. Marion, welcome to Private Matters.
Hi, Max. I'm honored to be here.
I'm honored that you are on the show. And
Thanks.
you and I have spoken several times about your work. You have a business called Aquarion, aquarion.nl, and you have trained a team of coaches, and all of you work with people who have not had sex. Is that correct?
That's correct. Or sometimes people who have had a little bit of experience, or bad experience, and then for a long time they did not have any more. So they are afraid to start over again.
So that's very sensitive work. You're working with traumatized or very shy people.
Traumatized, yes, but not in a psychiatric way. We test people whether they are in good health and condition to get this coaching. Otherwise, it might be too dangerous.
But it's very sensitive work, and you're
very sensitive. Yes.
And what I know is that people fly to Holland from different countries, and they spend time with you or one of your coaches in 4-hour sessions. Is that correct?
Yes, it can be 3-4 hours, but we tend to 3, and they will have many coaches. So it's not one, but many, following up.
So sometimes there is a man and a woman.
Sometimes they're both, but most of the time they're with a woman, and then in another session with a man, because a male coach is very, very important to our work, for people to understand what it is to be a man. They doubt themselves being a man, a good man, and so they are supported by this male coach in getting self-knowledge and being there and getting awareness about their own life.
Yes, very sensitive work, highly sensitive work. You've told me that sometimes there is a lot of silence in those sessions.
Yes, mostly, because the talking is okay normally, but the doing isn't. So they are invited to do, and so to make contact, to be also advised how to make contact, but slowly, sometimes it starts just the fingertips meeting, and they're asked to do the same to the coach as the coach does to the client.
Yes.
So together they develop a way to make a good contact.
Yes, let me just say clearly for everybody, this is not about sex, right? Most of the time, this is not about sex, or
it is and it isn't. It is about making good communication. If that is there, then the sexuality can blossom, can flow, can come out.
yes.
So
Yes.
but the sexuality is very important, since my coaches offer that.
Yes.
They are surrogate partners, and they offer also being naked together for instance,
Being
and
naked together.
sometimes making love.
Sometimes making love, especially towards the end.
Towards the end, yes, when they have also done this, the lovemaking, there most of the time is not that much to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something they learn as well, and so they really get excited about themselves, so in love with themselves, and that is very attractive to others. So very often they find a girlfriend. I'm coaching mostly male people, so they find a girlfriend and slowly start, cautiously start a relationship. And sometimes I'm still there coaching in dating, and also when there are problems.
Yes. People suffer a lot more about these things than one would expect, and people don't come forward, especially if they're over 30 or over 40 or over 50 years old. They will not say that they've never had sex.
No, no, that is a shameful thing to do for them.
Yes.
And but we encourage them to speak to their friends if available, and say how they feel and what their position is, and to tell them that they, for instance, are virgins and want to have a relationship. People around them may have known them for 20, 30 years and don't know or dare not to ask. So we encourage that this whole field is opened and spoken about. And it helps. It helps whole families, whole families are relieved that that it's this problem and not something else.
Yes. How did you come to do this work, Marion?
Well, 20 years ago, I started with my own matchmaking office. And so for 7 years, I did that work and I matched people. But from the first moment on, people came to me who had no experience at all with the other sex, mostly male. And so they did not succeed being in a date, and they got anxious, very, very anxious about themselves. So I offered them to relax and have some lessons in intimacy.
Yes.
I knew someone, so they went there.
Yes.
And then, of course, they wanted to be trained in sexuality as well. And they could not find it. They, in the end, got almost suicidal about it. They did not know how to order it. So what I did then was put an ad and ask for an initiator.
Yes.
And the initiator, she was very, very good. And she started with me and with the other woman. Then I said to myself, well, a man is needed as well. We can't do this on our own, just women. And I got a male coach.
Yes.
And then, well, it grew and grew. And now we are several coaches together.
How many? How many?
At the moment, 6.
6 coaches. Yes.
Yes. And what is very important is that we made a program especially for these people who were involuntarily celibate.
People who were involuntary celibate.
Yes, yes. In America, there's a name for it. It's called incel.
What's the name?
Incel.
Incel.
Involuntary celibate. So
I've never heard that, by the way.
No?
No. But
Okay.
I'm glad to hear. Marion, who is your work for?
Well, I could say that anyone, any adult, could use sex coaching sometime in their lives. But there's this special group of people that does not step outside, that is very shy, that has been hindered during school time, hindered, pesten. People who have not been guided by their parents towards towards dating or lovemaking, so that everything about sexuality has been shut down, has been not talked about,
Yeah.
and that is blocking the whole sexual development in a person.
Yes.
They are not spontaneous about it anymore. Totally not. So when you are shy already as a child and you don't come out of this awkward position that is not natural, then it is very difficult during puberty to develop and to go out, to reach out, to take risks. So these people, they are not used to take risks. They stay at home, they have their television, they have their computer, and they have non-live communication.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
and in these times are difficult. You can be happy with yourself in your home with the television and maybe with porn. So many people are porn addicted.
Yes.
They are addicted
Mm-hmm.
anyhow, addicted to stay at home, addicted to cover themselves, to not show their faces, not show their colors. And so there are many people who could use some kind of help, some kind of support to go out and find their happiness.
Yes, to find the confidence to express themselves, to go for what they
Yes.
want, to ask for
Yes.
what they want,
Yes, to ask for it. Exactly.
to ask for what they want. I remember when we first talked, there's something that I often thought of that you said in our conversation. When I asked you, what is your mission? And you said something beautiful. You said, oh, there is so much more fun and joy to be experienced in the body than what's actually happening.
Yes, exactly. So there is some new knowledge about what we feel, men and women, during making love, during sex. And I call it sacred sex when you follow some kind of program to get there. And it's not sacred, holy, but it's like, finding God in sex.
Wow.
As expressed by an author before. And I also give lectures about it, and so I speak publicly about this.
Yeah, you speak publicly about sacred sex and your own path, right?
Yes. And even here in Holland, so we are called very literate about this topic. People are quite still and say to me in the end, I should have known that before. Why don't you teach that in schools? I wasted tens of years.
Yes.
Why don't I know that? So I'm teaching that and to everyone that men are there to open women and women are there to receive men, and that they together they make a combination, and they are whole. They are within an erotic space together, and there is much happiness coming from. So from making sex, you can get happier. It's also the other way around, which has been proclaimed longer, but this exists, and I found out myself. Wonderful, and it has nothing to do with porn or harsh sex. It is very soft. It's very onthaast. Wat is onthaast ook weer in het Engels?
Onthaast means not being in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah.
very slow pace.
So you could say slow sex.
Slow sex.
Slow sex.
Sex. Yeah, I think that's a
Yes.
term actually.
Yes. Yes. And so when you practice that, when you say, oh, I want to learn more about sex, I want to learn more about love and the deeper feelings in love, I advise going into slow sex.
Slowing
And
down.
slowing
down.
hours and hours
Great,
together.
great advice, slowing down. And also, you are a messenger for people who believe that when you get older, that the sex becomes less, right?
Oh, yes,
So you are also a messenger for those people because you discover that that's not true.
No, I've been 65 this week, and I found out when I was 63 that sex could be better and better and better and better. So my body was 18, you know. I had not found that before, but because of my studies and the research I do,
Mhm.
I knew this was possible, and so I found it with a friend, and I also found out that my whole system was reacting. So it's not true that when you get older you should abstain from sex because you can't anymore. It's not true.
Well,
So
isn't there something about the hormones that it all becomes less important as we get older? That
no, 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 has nothing to do with it.
um,
When you're older, you are more free. There are no children running around, so you have more space and time for yourself. And so you can make more love, maybe twice a day.
well, that's good news for a lot of people. I think that's very good news for a lot of people. I've asked people, because I've always been so interested in this topic, in sexuality and intimacy, that I've asked people in their 70s and 80s if they're still having sex. And most of the time I've heard yes, but less frequently.
Yes. I heard also, oh no, I don't bother anymore, etc. But those people have not reached this area of really awareness in sex, and because they did not know it existed, but it does. So more people can get happy, can get at peace with each other, with themselves, with life, through sex.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was a great discovery.
And this is what you talk about in your as a public speaker now, as a
Yes,
speaker about the topic. You go out, and this
yes,
is a separate thing. You have your coaching
yeah,
business, Aquarion. By the
yeah,
way, people can find you on the web at aquarion.nl, right?
yes,
Yes.
yes. And I'm also writing a book. I really started now.
Really?
And yeah, yeah. And there's a documentary that has been made about my work in England by a producer in England, and it's called Virgin School.
Virgin
So,
School.
so that's why people from all over the world found me. It has been broadcasted over the world, and I made programs for people from other countries, which are different from the programs of for Dutch people, because Dutch people can visit us more frequently,
Ah, yes. Yes.
you know, and others from abroad, they take holidays and have a program of, for instance, a long weekend or midweek or 2 weeks, and they have a sequence of sessions.
So there's the Virgin School documentary. When was that made?
In 2007,
Okay.
and the title was not mine, by the way, but we got this as a work title during all the filming sessions. It was broadcasted in 4 months, and in Amsterdam with a guy, a Londoner of 26, and he was guided into lovemaking. And it is a beautiful documentary and very explicit.
I think I told you my favorite movie about this topic is the movie Bliss, made by Lance Young in 1997. And this movie has a ton of wisdom about how to have an intimate relationship. And it's about sexual awakening of the man and the woman. It's about a couple and a sex therapist, and it's a wonderfully written movie with which is a feature film, but it also teaches a lot of things about this topic. And do you have a separate website for your speaking for the sacred sex, or do you have a website for that?
No, it's at the same website still, but it will be divided into shortly. Yes.
On aquarion.nl.
Yes, exactly.
So when you work with people from other countries, the sessions are in English?
Yes, mostly. They should speak English. No, Spanish we don't speak. I do speak French and German and English, of course, but no Scandinavian languages. So someone should speak English.
Of course, because you can't have an interpreter in those sessions.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there is some exchange is necessary.
And without verbal communication, this wouldn't be possible. What you're doing wouldn't be possible.
Yeah. You should be able to express yourself almost in detail, but sometimes it's not necessary. The body tells. And my coaches are that good. They find out as well. Yeah.
It's kind of a dichotomy. On one hand, you need the language, and on the other hand, this is not just about talking, right?
No.
It's about being and feeling.
Yeah, but you understand, to get started, you have to talk and write, etc. And so we should understand what we have to offer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming to the end of our time together, Marion, and
Yes.
I'm delighted that you're doing what you're doing. Thank you, and please continue to expand into the world. Maybe this show will contribute to that. Thank you for coming on the show. This was Private Matters. I'm Max van Praag. On Private Matters, we explore all aspects of intimacy. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Quem mostrava esse caminho longe, quem mostrava esse caminho longe, esse caminho para Santo Tomé. Quem mostrava esse caminho longe, quem mostrava esse caminho longe, esse caminho para Santo